Well, morning everybody. Off for a reef trip today. Pretty excited. It's probably the most favourite activity I like to do on the water is chase those reef fish. It's about 3:30 in the morning. The crew's just over there having a coffee, bit of a heart starter for the day. I'd just like to thank everyone that's subscribing and liking the videos. Yeah, we're just going to have a quick cuppa, a little bit of brekkie into us, and then we're going to be heading over to the harbour, and I'll tune in a little bit later on. Thanks guys. Alright guys, we just pulled up, had a good run out, beautiful weather today. The crew's just had a bit of a couple of drops, got a few little bites. There's boats out here everywhere today, it's just such a glorious day. Looks out, Viv's got something here.
Baby emperor.
Oh, little baby emperor. Little baby one, a little bit of a start, first fish on board. Yeah, just a little bit young, but good size. So we'll keep going and set up a bit of gear, and I'll tune back in shortly. Right, daughter's on. She reckoned it's a good fish, so we'll wait and see. Good patch of ground here. Actually, I never had any marks, so be interesting to see. I just happened to have come across to this little spot to have a bit of a look and marked a few spots. What do we got? What are we looking at? A hassa. That's a start. That's a legal hassa. You go in the bin to start with. Okay. First fish of the esky anyway. If we do better, we'll cut him up for bait, but anyway, he's going in the box to start with. Oh, Viv's on the one. Oh, another hassa. Boy, look at that. Jagged him. Jagged him on the side of the face. Poor bugger. Oh no, under the belly. We've got some company out here. There's boats everywhere here today. Beautiful weather. Alright, Viv reckons he's got a good one here. So far all we've been catching is pasta on this mark, but there's been a couple of good bites in amongst them, so there is some bigger fish here, I think. What do we got? Oh, actually that's a bit red emperor. Is it? It's a nice big red emperor, guys. That's a beautiful big red emperor. Wow, have a look at this guy. Okay, how's that for a donker of a red emperor?
Bloody beauty.
That's a ripper. Okay. Wow.
I never even measured that big boy, I reckon.
No need to measure him, but we will just to see how big he is. Look at the size, that's a beautiful fish. I just said before we were getting hassa bites, but there was the odd really good bite in amongst them, and it's pretty common to have a nice big red emperor floating around a similar ground as where the hassa are, so this is good. Beautiful fish. We'll put him on the measure there and see what we got there. Yeah, losing him.
70.
Yeah.
71, 72.
71, 72 red emperor.
Good red.
Just hold him up, mate.
Bloody ripper.
Yeah, good fish. He is. think we might have hit a hatch here, guys. I think I've got another red emperor myself. I don't know whether it's as good as Vig's. But I think he's a decent fish. I don't usually use rods, but it's only in about 40. Yeah, it's another emperor. It'd be worth putting on the measuring stick. We might be a bit under. We'll have a look at him.
Stripey.
Yeah, he's big. I don't think he's going to make the grade this far. No, he's just barely 50. But yeah, very pretty fish. And this ground here we're on now, that's just perfect for it. Nice and hard. We're only in about 43, 44 metres of water. Quality fish though. Back you go, boy. What's your call, Tina?
Another hustle.
Another husser.
Nope.
It might be bait.
It's a triggerfish. It's not even bait.
A triggerfish. Oh no.
That's not good.
Trust you to start catching the quality.
Yeah.
Alright, Tina's hooked him. And she said it was a little bit too good for her, so Viv's taken over here. Hopefully it's a nice another big red emperor.
Right down.
He's fighting well.
We've actually got some fuel issues with the boat. We managed to get it started, but we can't idle things at all. We're going to be past 12 little dollars on the way back.
Oh, it's a good fish, I think. Oh, there's not the man in the grey suit. I can't see any colour yet, but I don't think he's got him up. Gain a bit of ground on him. Oh, Tina, you'll be devastated if it's a big red emperor. Hey? Starting to get a bit of ground here now. I can't see any colour yet. Oh, done him. No, it might have been a shark, eh? We'll say it was a shark. I'd rather lose a shark than a big red emperor. Remora or suckerfish? Suckerfish is just a bit of a local name, I think, but remora. Here we go. Just roll his head over a little bit. Remora or suckerfish. We're getting a little bit of rubbish now. It's right at the bottom of the tide, so no run, no fun, the saying goes. No, we'll throw him back.
Nope.
Oh, looks like an undersized emperor. There's by the look of that little juvenile. Pretty little fella. They're still about, even though the tide's really starting to slacken off. We're still getting the odd bite and the odd fish. I think we'll have to be patient and wait for that tide to turn and start running in, and hopefully we might jag a couple more of those big fellas.
Pretty little fish.
Pretty little fish. Alright, back into the drink, young fella. While it's a bit quiet, guys, thought I'd have a bit of a chat. Beautiful day, beautiful conditions, and there's just boats everywhere. We're just coming onto the low tide, so the bites and everything's dropped off a little bit, but we've got a good bit of ground here, and so I think we'll just wait out this slackness in the tide and wait for it to kick up, and you know, we're a bit promising. We've got that nice, well, Viv got that nice 70 odd centimetre red emperor. Got a couple of smaller ones, so we're pretty keen to hang around and just wait for that run in tide, and hopefully things will liven up again. So yeah, just beautiful weather, beautiful day, good to get out. I love being out here. Out of all the favourite activities on the water, reef fishing is my absolute favourite. I could just live out here if the weather and everything else would let me do it, but yeah, everywhere I look around the horizon there's scattering of boats. Like, we're not very far from the harbour, so a lot of boats can get out this far. So anyway, we'll keep going, and I'll tune back in when get a little bit of action again. Cheers. Oh, looks like Viv's on again, but this one looks suspiciously like a shark. Gaining too much ground on him. Can't turn him.
Yeah.
Sharks so far have been quiet today, touch wood. It's only the evidence of the second one so far. Not going anywhere quickly. There he goes. He's having a bit of a run.
My line's under the boat.
Bit of an even tug of war here at the moment. Neither fish nor human are prepared to give in. The worst thing about this situation is, oh yeah, he busted it off. That's how much line they take off you. Hopefully they've just broken the paternoster rig, or cut through the paternoster rig with a bit of luck. We'll sacrifice the sinker and the hooks, but
Yep.
oh, that's good. Yeah, we ended up with just the paternoster rig cut through. Right guys, while it's quiet, obviously Viv's just lost most of his gear. Paternoster rig the way I do it. I loop it over like so, twist the line through a couple of times. I bring that back through the middle. I used to put it in my teeth until I had the dental surgery. But now I've got this little hook up there. And you end up with a nice little loop like that. And we do two, we're normally fishing with two when we go reef fishing. Now the other one's about, oh, I don't know, a foot and a half. It's at 50 mil. Same deal, just loop it like that, and then you just twist it around. I go about 3 to 4 times, and then bring that loop back through the twist you made. And that's what I normally put between my teeth. And now I go up my little hook here, pull down and together, and that twists it up like that. The bottom one is very simple, just for the sinker. Gain about a foot and a half, and just loop it over, and just to do a granny knot, I guess you call that, pull that through like that, and that's how we do our paternoster rigs. We just use the one swivel just to help with the twist when you're bringing a fish up. In this case it's going onto the braid, of course. They're pretty standard. I'm not really sure the term that, but 1, 2, 3 to 4, back through that loop, and then back through that one again, and 3 normally. I'm going to hold this with my teeth and just pull that through like that, and that's pretty that's the rig we use out here. So we got 110 pound for the paternoster. Just for the paternoster rig. We got 80 as well, just depend on yeah, what we're fishing for, but we're getting quite a few big red emperor. Well, we're hoping to. We've got one, and they tend to cut through the 80 pounds, so we don't mind using the 110 pound. Right, so now we got it done this way. It's very simple to put the gear on. Just through the sinker, loop it over like that, and that pretty much holds that in place. Same process for the hooks. Through there, and then the hook back through itself like so. Hangs out like that. The second one, boat's buzzing around everywhere here, like that. So yeah, no, as long as you got a metre or so, to a metre and a half, I like around that metre mark, so it's pretty close to that. So that's how we do our paternoster rigs out here when we go reef fishing. Got a little visitor, guys, coming up to the boat here. Little sea snake, he's been here, I reckon it could be the same one. He's been here a few times today. Put his head up in the air, having a bit of a geezer. There he goes, he's had enough. Got his breath of air. Looks like the grey suits have made an appearance again. Let's see who's going to win this battle. My money's on the sharks. He's making a bit of ground. We haven't actually got one up to the surface yet, so that would be a change. At least we can get a bit of a look at him. A lot of effort, isn't it, dude?
Especially for a fish you can't put in the esky.
That's it. Oh, Jesus. Broke his line. Snappo. That was like a slingshot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we've had a fairly good crack at this spot here. We've got that nice emperor, and it must be about a dozen hussar and a big stripey by the look of it. I think I'll have to check that one out, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we're going to lift anchor and have a bit of a shift, I think, and hopefully we can pick up a few more at another spot on this run-in tide this afternoon. All right, guys, we'll tune back in a little bit later on. Right, we just rocked up at our second spot, first anchor, Zippo. And then Viv and I dropped, and we both pulled up undersized red emperor. So Viv's still got his here.
Nice little stripey fella.
Went about 50 centimetres, that guy. So it's a good sign. Righto, Tina's even getting into the action now. Oh, yeah, there he goes.
Happy?
Yeah, a little undersized one there, but yeah, it's a good sign. Better quality this time, Viv, you reckon?
Feels like it's got a bit of something on it. Started off really good. Oh, these little fish are fucking trying to bite me.
Oh, it's another nice emperor. Be close, be worth putting him on the stick. Oh. Worth a measure for sure. We're finding some red emperor ground today. It's funny, where our first anchor up here was only like, wouldn't even be 100 metres from here, and we couldn't get a bite, and then we just had a bit of a re-anchor on this spot. All of a sudden we're starting to get a few bites, catch a few fish. Righto, what are we looking at? I reckon he's got to be pretty close, this guy. There, we got him.
Just 55.
We got him. Beautiful. That's two of the little babies. Woohoo!
Well, it looks like it's shedding its skin.
Alright guys, we've had a pretty tough afternoon of it. We can't get a bite on this run-in tide. Tried several marks, so we're just starting to organise and head home. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we'll have a real nice trip on the way in. So we've enjoyed the day. It's been good weather. I'll just turn this camera around and give you a look at the fish. A couple of nice amper and some husser and stuff, so we're happy with that. We got a good feed, a couple of stripies there, so we'll chuck a bit of ice on them and yeah, fill them up tomorrow. All right, signing out now, and might have a chat tomorrow when we get home, or when we do some filleting in the morning. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. Morning everybody. We're back home. Spent a couple of hours this morning cleaning up everything, the boat and all the other gear and that associated with doing a reef trip. Got most of the filleting done this morning. We ended up with about 14 of those husser and a couple of stripies. Yeah, I don't know, people may not bother bringing them home, but you know, I've got grandkids and they love eating those little husser there. They reckon they're nice and sweet, and you know, nice small fillets for the kids to get stuck into. And so yeah, we had a good trip out there. Like weather-wise, the morning run out tide was the best bite we had. I don't know how anyone else fared for the day, but yeah, once the tide sort of bottomed out and started running in, we persisted till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and hardly got a bite. You know, we must have tried about another 10 or so marks. The good thing I suppose about the marks was a couple of bits of country that I'd actually hadn't had marks on, and I'd driven sort of past it and sort of thought, oh, I'll have a look at that one day. And so that gave me the opportunity yesterday to have a look at those marks, and yeah, so there's fish there. I think on a better day we'd get a few more of those nice red emperor. And but anyway, I got Viv here. We're going to get him to show off his 70 odd centimetre red emperor. So there we go. That was the fish of the trip. Ended up with two emperor. That one there was about 72, I think we said, didn't we?
2, yeah.
And the other one was like a fraction over 55. So yeah, couple of fish that sort of made the trip. And but yeah, all good. So I'm going to do a bit of a demo. I'm hoping I'm up to the grade, and we'll fill it up for you and show you what we do and what we keep and that sort of thing. So yeah, hang around for that, and we'll show you how it's all done. Just a little background to Viv's fishing or experience, or lack of. Before he'd met up and married my daughter, he'd virtually hardly thrown a line in his whole life. So yeah, marrying into this family, it's always been a big part of our lives. So like, you know, even the kids like fishing off the beach, and I got grandkids now, we take fishing and that sort of stuff. So you know, it's a big part of our lives, fishing. So Viv's done quite well. He's picked up the filleting side of things quite well, and on all the fishing, all the different fishing we do around the place. So yeah, so other than picking up a good little sort in my daughter, he's learned some skills along the way as well. All right guys, we'll get on with this filleting, and we'll show you what we do with the fish. All right guys, before I start, if you haven't seen the last videos I put up, my solo camp down the beach with the dog, I had a bit of a chat about some of the things we found on the beach, and I did mention this aluminium frame. So here it is. We've made it our prime filleting table these days just by putting a cutting board on top. So yeah, you just never know what you're gonna pick up when you go down the beach. So it's a little bit high for me, but one of these days I suppose I'll get out and cut it to a more suitable length, but like Viv and my son, who are a little bit taller than me, they find it quite good. So maybe I'll just leave it alone and hand the filleting over to those two. So anyway, I'll get with this. So we intend to keep the wings on this red emperor, any of these good quality fish like that. The wings are beautiful meat. So what I tend to do, just to make the cooking and that simple, is just cut the fins off. If you do it now, it's all sort of done, and all the fish, it's a lot easier to sort of, pretty tough, some of these fellas. But, the old cutters might be starting to get a bit worn out as well, so cut them off first. It just makes cooking easier. Some people might want to leave it on for show. And what I do then actually is I scale the area that we're gonna, the wing area. And I just like to, it's just something else you don't have to worry about bloody eating scales. So just give that a quick scale just around the wing area. I don't know, maybe I'm a bit pedantic, but I don't know, I'd rather not be eating scales. I'd rather enjoy the fish without chewing on scales. But you got to get back up under here somewhere. They sort of get a couple pretty tight, the scale, just up in there underneath the chin there. Righto, that sort of gets that sorted. Now we'll go about knocking the sides off it. You might notice the type of knife I'm using. It's probably not everyone's pick of filleting knife. I don't know how it started. Years ago I just I don't know, didn't have a sharp knife and started using a knife like this, and I've just sort of stuck with it. So anyway, each to his own. So to start with, I always start down this area here and work my way back to the head of the fish, just running along the backbone right up as the head as far as I can. You slowly start lifting it up, trying to skim those backbones down towards the middle backbone, I guess, the terminology for all these different parts. But yeah, so yeah, you can see how I skim that along there as close as I can. You can see the ribs of the backbone there, but then I'm starting to get down to the middle, the spine, I guess. Yeah, I'm just starting to get there. So you get that far, then I'll make the first incision behind the head, so just in behind the gill rakes. You need to lean your gill rakes, lean your knife over a little bit, because all the scales are laying back that way. So just lean it back a little bit, come up behind the head here as much as you can. Try not to cut through the fish's intestines down below there. And then you should be able to start lifting it up now to get a bit of a look at what you're doing in here. So that's pretty well right there, down to that spine. So you need to sort of come back up and start making your way over that rib cage and through those pin bones. As you see, I wear a mesh glove these days. I'm forever nicking my hand. I have a little bit of difficulty here just getting down behind that rib cage there. You can miss a chunk of meat there and leave it on there. But yeah, just cut through here. Those pin bones are pretty hard to chop through, but you can hear them sort of clicking there.
Box of toothpicks with every fish.
Yeah, they're quite tough to get through, but I don't want to miss any meat either. It's such a beautiful fish, these red emperor. And as I'm sort of getting on the other side of that spine, I'm sort of getting down with the knife as close as I can to those backbones below there. It's always everyone's problem getting through those pin bones. I might have gone a bit deep there. And then just sort of skim across the top of the rib cage and fold the fillet back as you're going, so you can keep seeing. It's a decent sized fillet on a 70 centimetre bloody red emperor. You want to get every bit of meat. I think they actually call this an over the rib cage filleting technique. I think I've read at some stage. So yeah, that's pretty much one side done. So it's not too bad of a job. I did miss a little bit here. All right, so we'll roll the fish over. So again, this is the area I like to start. So everyone may fillet a little bit differently, then start working your way back up to the fish's head and getting as close to those backbone as you can. And they're just little shortcuts, so I guess sort of sneaking your way in there. And because that other side is missing now, that other fillet, it's a little bit more tricky around the tail, I find. I'm missing a bit of meat there now already. But one thing about a fish this size, you could keep the backbones and get a good feed off it. So we'll spin it around and come in behind the back of the head again, cutting up on that bit of an angle. It's about cutting through the belly and opening up everything, all those nasty things in their belly. Sometimes you'll find it doesn't quite let go here either. There you go, I just got through it, a bit of a, oh, I think it's part of the rib cage or something, or back of the head there. So I have buggered this one up a little bit, sorry folks. We'll push the knife all the way through there and skim it through like so. It's always a little bit harder the second side because you've got no support. But some people will leave that second fillet sort of connected, but I don't know. I'm probably lacking a bit of practice, not enough fishing, or handing it over to my son-in-law and son. Get down there as close as you can. Skim across those rib bones there. No, it's not too bad for an old fella. All right.
Pretty good, it's almost see-through.
You're biased. Alright guys, now we'll look at the head. Now, the first thing you need to do, you see this little bone up in here, it's like a little hinge area, so just get your knife underneath there. Normally, there we go, and it slides through pretty easy there. It's like two bones that overlap like so, sort of thing. And just pull the gills away, cut through there, little membrane there, and you'll find there's one bone normally here. Just need to sort of, there it is there, just cut down the other side of it. That's that bone there. It's nearly always attached to the wing there. And just try and free this side up before I turn it over. We'll just roll him over and get that other hinge on the other side. So yeah, it's always coming up. You can see it quite clearly there, hopefully. So just get your knife under that, back up to here, and again you'll have that bone there. There it is there. Once you get that one out of the road and cut through that hinge, it's quite simple. So I'll just roll that back again and we can just start cutting away and leaving all the guts of the fish and the gills attached to the main frame. This little nicks up into there, and you get that nearly through. Just give it a bit of a pull like that and it sort of snaps through and you haven't got much left to cut. Alright, so look at all that meat. You can't not keep that. It's just too much not to eat, and it's beautiful sweet meat. So just for make it simple to cook, I've already removed the fins. So what we like to do is just, if you can cut this dead center, your knife can just about get through that quite easy. It's a little separation there. I haven't done too bad. You sort of, I have missed a bit. But if you do not quite get that dead center, you really need to get that pair of those cutters there. But yeah, now that just needs to be tidied up a little bit. Pull that blood and that out of there. But that's just a massive amount of meat, and it's just so nice. I reckon I'd compare that to a T-bone steak on a beast. It's that good, guys. All right, we'll just leave that over there for a second. What I also do is I like to keep the heads for crabbing. I reckon they're some of the best crab pot bait. Mainly because it, well, crabs will eat fish, any sort of fish, but because they're good to bait up in a pot. You sort of you don't have bits and pieces. So if you just cut through and leave most of the gut onto the frame, just roll that over a little bit there. can leave the gills in. I think they don't flop around and fall out of the fish. Once you cut that through there a bit, you can normally pull that head back. Maybe I'm going to struggle on this big guy. Let me turn him around. Just give that a bit of a pull like that. Straight apart. Alright, so that's a nice clean crab pot bait. You could get an axe or something. You could cut that and get 2 baits out of that easy. But you use the eyes to tie them into your pot, and they stay in the pot, and there's no loose bits. If you use it like tie a frame in, it just seems to fall apart, but a head sticks together and you can get a good couple of tides out of that. So we keep that for crab pot bait. I got more of a traditional skinning knife. Now what I'd normally do is just take a little bit forward of the flesh and leave a little bit. It gives you that little bit of a grip. You can get a little bit of an edge there to grip. You can even get your knife and cut a hole in it, I suppose, like so, and that gives you something to hang on to. You know, if you were skinning a cod or a fish that's a bit slimier, and then you can sort of, you know, put your finger in there and hold it. But yeah, I don't really need to. It's not a real slimy fish. So a little sawing sort of action. Knife's just long enough to get through. It'll go pretty good until I get up to the pin bones. I'm just starting to hit those pin bones now because they go right through to the skin. Sometimes you just hear me cutting through them now with my half sharp knife. You can see there, they're sort of attached. They're attached. I'm just starting to get through them there now. There we go. So I like to leave the fillet on top of the skin, and then I'll take the pin bones out, like so. Like I said, we got kids and grandkids, so I like a boneless fillet. Then I'm, you know, even though we're still watching full bones when we're cooking them, but I'm bloody 99% sure there's no bones by the time we pack it in the freezer. Righto, so that's what we're left with. There'll be a little bit of salvage on the back there. We can trim that a bit if you need to. Same with the second one. Starting to get through those pin bones now. It's a lot better, that one. I must have been a bit stronger or something. Again, just take the bones out through here. Looks like I've left most of them on the rib cage by the look of it, and they sort of fold back underneath the fillet, so you need to sort of cut on a bit of an angle there. And we always check them again when we bag them up anyway into feeds. Alright, guys, there's 2 nice fillets. A couple of fish wings that we'll clean up. Okay, so that's about it. I'm not the greatest filleter in the world, but probably need a bit more practice, a bit more fishing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And thanks again to everyone that's supporting the channel. Much appreciated. Pretty new to the game, but enjoying bringing some videos of what we do around the place to you guys to have a look at. So anyway, cheers again. See you on the next one.